Last weekend, I received my Louis Vuitton Neverfull back from LV Repair Services, and there were quite a few things about the process that surprised me, so I'm going to share those with you in today's video. I sent my Neverfull into LV Repairs to have all of the vachetta leather replaced, as well as another part of my bag that I've always heard Louis Vuitton will not repair, but I asked them about it and surprisingly they agreed to repair it for me. I'll also let you know how long this whole process took and what I paid, including the price I was originally quoted and what I actually paid. Hey there, this is Alula West Lux. Thank you so much for joining me in another video, or if you're new here, a very warm welcome to you. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're familiar with my channel at all, you probably know that I most often talk about what's new at Louis Vuitton. I love previewing all of their new releases and upcoming collections. However, when it comes to my own personal shopping, I do like to buy new, but I also love shopping pre-loved. I love looking for unique bags on the pre-loved market. I also love scoring a deal. And that was what I did for the bag that we're discussing today. This was my first luxury bag. It was the Louis Vuitton Neverfull in monogram canvas, and I purchased it from a local consignment store. However, after owning the bag for several years, it was in need of repair. So let me show you the bag first and what I had repaired. Here is the bag. This is how Louis Vuitton sent it to me back from Repairs Services. I did not send it in a box. They actually specify, I think, in the directions to not include a box when you send your bag to them, but they sent it back like so. And within the box is my bag, and it's in the dust bag as well. This is a new dust bag. This was not the original one that I had, and I love that they sent it to me with the dust bag with the drawstring. I prefer this one over the flap style dust bag. So here is how the bag looks now that it's been repaired, and I will tell you what I had repaired on it. So here we go. It's your standard Neverfull MM in monogram canvas. And I had all of the vachetta leather on the outside of the bag replaced. So these side straps have been replaced, the trim around the top of the bag, both of the handles. And I specified to not replace the interior trim. So the trim on the interior pocket is still the original, but they did replace the leather tab that the clasp is on both sides. And there's a D-ring inside. The leather trim here was replaced as well. So that's all of the leather except for what's on this interior pocket. They also made another repair that I did not think they would make. I had a very deep scratch on the bottom of my bag. I'll insert a picture of what it looked like, and you can see that the scratch is not just superficial, but it cuts through the canvas coating, the top layer of the canvas where the monogram print is, and you can see the beige underlayer of the canvas underneath that. So it was a very deep scratch, and it was on the bottom of the bag. You can also see a few spots missing on the piping in that area as well. Louis Vuitton is well known for not repairing their canvas. If you have a scratch in the canvas, they will not repair it. But I asked anyway when I was on my virtual appointment with Repairs Services, and surprisingly, they agreed to fix it for me. And what they did was completely replace the bottom of the bag. They also replaced the monogram piping that runs between the bottom panel and the top two panels. So as you can see here, everything is nice and smooth, it's clean. If you do have a really deep scratch in your canvas, they can't repair the actual canvas, but they can replace it. They were willing to replace it on the bottom of my bag. If it was a larger section, like say if the scratch was on the front of the bag, I don't know how much of the canvas they will replace. If it's a huge canvas like the front of the bag, would they replace it or not? I'm not sure. But I do know they would replace it on the bottom of the bag. And not only did they replace the canvas on the exterior, but they replaced the fabric lining on the inside of the bag as well, on the bottom. So that plain fabric lining on the bottom is new. So the entire bottom was replaced, both the interior and the exterior materials on the bottom of the bag. So that really surprised me. I didn't think Louis Vuitton would do that, but I was so happy that they did agree to it. Now, let me tell you the prices I was quoted for both of these repairs. Unfortunately, Louis Vuitton Repair Services does not publicly share their prices anywhere. So if you want to know how much a repair will cost, you do need to schedule an appointment to get a quote. You can either go to a local store if you live near a Louis Vuitton boutique, or you can go on to either their website or their app and schedule a virtual appointment that way. That was what I did. I filled out the online form and I scheduled an appointment. When I got on the phone with the repairs specialist, she gave me 2 quotes. The first quote was for replacing all of the exterior vachetta leather. That was quoted at $730 to replace all the leather. The quote to replace the bottom of the bag was $390. So my initial quote was for a total of $1,120. At that point, I accepted the quote. I was sent a prepaid mailing label and I sent the bag off to them. After the bag was received at the Louis Vuitton Repairs factory or the atelier, they actually updated my quote. There was no change to the vachetta leather price. That remained at $730, but they updated the quote for replacing the bottom of my bag, and it actually went down from $390 originally to $295. So that's $95 less than what they originally quoted me, and I was really pleasantly surprised by that. That's almost a 25% discount off of the original quote. So that was a pretty significant price drop. So my quote total dropped from $1,120 to $1,025. So that was great. No complaints there. After my bag was at Repair Services for a few weeks, I checked on the app to see if there were any updates in the progress. There is a progress timeline in the app so you can track where your bag is in the repairs process. And when I logged into the app, I noticed that my quote had magically updated once again. And it had gone from $1,025 total to $980 total. So that was another $45 price decrease. Unfortunately, when I logged in the app and saw the new updated price, now for the second time, there was no breakdown between the cost for the bottom of the bag and the vachetta leather. So I don't know if the $45 was off of the bottom replacement, yet again, if that price went down, or if they updated the price for the vachetta leather replacement. But either way, it went down to a total of $980, and that was actually what I ended up paying. That was the grand total, including all of the shipping, taxes, fees, everything. I paid $980, and that ended up being $140 less than what I was originally quoted. So I was really happy with that. Now, if you're wondering how the cost of Louis Vuitton repairs compares to other repair shops, Unfortunately, I can't provide you with that information. My original plan was to get a quote from LV Repairs, then go to other independent leather shops and get quotes from them. I was hoping to get maybe 2 to 3 quotes, and then I would pick the best one and go with them. However, I ended up just going with LV Repairs because once I had my appointment and I found out that they would replace the canvas, I knew that I would send the bag to LV Repairs. I'm not going to go to anyone outside of Louis Vuitton for their branded canvas. I just won't do it. So I knew then that I was going with LV Repairs Services to do not just the leather, but also the canvas. And I wasn't going to waste anyone else's time going out, getting quotes if I knew that I wasn't going to use another service. So this is just the current cost of what LV Repairs is. If you're not set on LV Repair Services, it is worth shopping around. I do think for repairs like glazing, like if you need the edge paint or the glazing repaired, you're not using any branded product. It's not like replacing the canvas. So something like that, I would definitely shop around for a better quote if you don't want to pay the high prices of LV Repairs. That leads us into the next section of our video, which is how long did this all take anyway? In the past, not recently, but years ago, I heard stories of people who sent their bags in to be repaired, and Louis Vuitton ended up having these bags for several months to repair them before they were ever returned back to the owner, and that is a very long time. However, Louis Vuitton repair prices have gone up a lot in recent years, so I got the feeling that not as many people are using repair services recently, so the repairs tend to go through a little bit quicker than they used to. In my particular case, I had my virtual appointment on August 16th. I mailed my bag out right away, and it was at Louis Vuitton by August 20th. I received the receipt for the repair. It was all finished on October 1st. I paid right away, and then I had my bag back in my possession on October 4th. That is a 7-week timeline from when I had the bag sent and when I received it back. So 7 weeks is a pretty good timeline to get the bag repaired and returned to me. That's less than 2 months, which is much better than several months, which is what people used to experience in the past. Overall, I can say I'm really satisfied with my repair. They were able to fix exactly what I wanted to have fixed. The quote was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. The quote did actually decrease while the bag was in their possession, and I got it back relatively quickly. If you've had experience with Louis Vuitton repair services, I would love for you to share your experience below. If you don't mind sharing what bag you had repaired, how long it took, what it cost, all that information can be really helpful to other people watching this video. So thank you in advance for sharing your experiences. I hope you'll join me in my next video. In the meantime, I'll leave another one up here for you to watch next. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye now.